Everybody's talking quarterbacks. This is the hot topic. This is what everybody wants to dive into, chew on, digest on. Everybody is just enamored with what's going on in the quarterback room, what's going on in the quarterback conversation, who's going to be QB1. Will the A-Day game decide all of this? Everybody's talking quarterbacks. And while Bryce Young is likely to be the starter in that room, you look at Paul Tyson is still important. And the reason why Paul Tyson is still important is the most pivotal position in football is the backup quarterback, because you are one play away. You are one bad hit, one nasty injury, one unfortunate situation away to the starting quarterback from you being the guy, from you having to get in there and carry on the team and take over the team and operate the offense. And, Coach Saban always talks about, when you're the backup, you're kind of sort of the sparring partner, but you always have to prepare as if you're the guy. Even though you're number two, you have to constantly prepare and consistently prepare and have the mindset of, I'm the starting quarterback no matter where I am in relation to the roster. And that's the mindset that, one Paul Tyson has. It's his mind. Yes, I'm behind Bryce Young, but I have to prepare. I have to be ready. I got to go, as if I'm the starting quarterback. I got to be prepared, to rock and roll here. In the case of Bryce Young, he's going to look to try to help and guide this Alabama team to be back-to-back national champions. He's going to look to guide this team and position this team to grab, the national title in the college football playoff for a second year in a row. But in the case of Tyson, no matter what happens, you got to have that backup quarterback prepared. And you out there as fans, you got to be excited. You got to pump up the number two guy. You got to supply that number two guy with some cheers, with some swag, with some zeal, with some confidence. Because, one bad hit, one negative play away, that guy's got to go. That guy's got to go out there now. I'm not saying that, God forbid any injury happens, right? God forbid any injury happens. You don't want to see nobody get hurt. You absolutely do not. But because this is the game of football, it's tough, it's physical, it's violent, it's hardcore. It doesn't matter how many times the powers that be, try to consistently make it a safe game to play, and they're doing a great job of that. Young men get into football. Why? Because of the intensity, because of the hard hitting, because it's a man's sport. And with that being said, regardless of what happens, you've got to have that backup quarterback prepared to play. That's from the quarterback standpoint and the coaching staff standpoint. But on top of that, as fans and as consumers and as avid watchers of the sport, you got to be supportive. You got to be all in, gung-ho, all out there on the number two guy, the backup quarterback, because, he's just as important as the starting QB here. And if you're going to look at just historical notes here on how important the backup quarterback is, especially in the Nick Saban era at Alabama. It doesn't go any further than Jalen Hurts to a Tagovailoa. I mean, right? Jalen Hurts, 2017 starting quarterback. He started the entire regular season. He started the entire college football playoff semifinal against Clemson, and then he started in the national championship game against Georgia. And despite how everybody loved Jalen, the crowd loved Jalen, the team loved Jalen, the coaching staff loved Jalen, Jalen was heavily supported, we also knew what Alabama had in Tua, right? He got the reps, he got the practice in, he got the chemistry with the guys, he got the self-same coaching that Jalen got. So, we all knew what Bama had in Tua, so that we knew when Tua came in, it wasn't going to be a drop-off. If Tua got an opportunity, it wasn't going to take a step back. If Tua got the opportunity, he was going to get the same love, the same appreciation, the same attaboy Tua. Let's go Tua. Slang them coconuts and pineapples, son. Do your thing, boy. Do what you do. Like the fans, y'all are going to show that same love. And Tua got out there on the field against Georgia, second half of the 2018 title game, and put on a show. 3 touchdowns, including the game winner, showing that he can come off the bench, as the backup and win you and rescue you to the national championship. And the same thing in the following season, where 2018, Tua was the guy. Tua was the starting quarterback. Tua had everybody's attention, but you needed Jalen. You had to support Jalen. You had to love on Jalen. You had to pump up Jalen. You had to be there for him because, once again, you need that backup quarterback. And both guys were very experienced. And what happened? Tua took it all the way to the SEC title game against Georgia, ironically. And Tua gets hurt in that game, hurts his ankle in that matchup in the second half, and Jalen comes off the bench. He goes in there. Alabama's down 28-21. Hurts leads 2 huge touchdown drives, including the game winner, where he scrambles 23 yards for the touchdown, and everybody went crazy. Everybody lost their mind as Alabama won 35-28. Even Nick Saban cried. It's the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, because you saw we can go to Jalen as a backup, no drop-off, no negativity, and he's able to hold that standard, to uphold that standard, and still kept, Alabama to win that football game. When you look at, Tua and Mac Jones, the same deal. Everybody all on Tua, all on Tua, all on Tua. Tua's QB1. Tua's the guy, but you had to get behind Mac because we saw against Tennessee, Tua goes down with the ankle injury, had to have the tightrope surgery on there. And Mac, even though he didn't get that pep talk from Nick Saban, coach just slung him out there like a prom night dumpster baby going out there against Tennessee. Mac went out there, Mac went out there and was able to hold down the fort in that game. Then he got a chance to start against Arkansas and play exquisitely well. The final score in that game, if I'm not mistaken, was 48-7 in favor of the Crimson Tide. Then Tua got hurt again against Mississippi State, the dislocated right hip with the fracture in the wall there, and Mac had to come in off the bench to replace Tua in that matchup and was able to hold the fort there. And then the Iron Bowl, Mac went out there in the Iron Bowl, had a big performance despite the loss, still 335 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, gave Alabama every shot to win that game. But of course, he went out there against Michigan in the Citrus Bowl, over 300 yards passing, 2+ touchdowns. Bama got the 35-16 win. But of course, we all remember Blake Sims and Jacob Coker. Even though Blake was the guy, Blake was the man, Blake was the starter, you needed Coker. At any given moment, you had to have support for Coker because he was going to go in there at some given point in time. So while Bryce Young is likely the starting quarterback, likely the guy, you have to support Paul Tyson as a fan because the backup quarterback, he's got the knowledge of the system. He's got reps in practice the last 3 years. He knows what to do. People have confidence. The team has confidence in him. And just based off the history, Bama has needed that backup quarterback to come in there, come through, make plays, be successful. And in more times than not, that player has done that. So as much as we are in on Young, got to have that support for Tyson because at any given moment, he's going to have to go out there and be able to carry this team, carry this program as it looks to try to pursue a national championship as repeat champions here.